Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Retro Time, and my name is Message Timed, and I wanted to talk about my collection back here. I took visuals of it, so we're gonna break it down, and I want to explain why I started collecting everything, and why I just wanted to build it up and everything. So let's get into it, and we'll go over my visuals first. Here's my collection. By looking at it, all these pictures up close, you kind of got a general idea of what um what it is I collected over the course of time. Now, like this one right here, this whole section right here, if you zoom in on it, which I need it to open, and we'll zoom in on it a little bit. It's all Legend of Zelda based, as you can tell. Now, Legend of Zelda has always and will be one of my all-time favorite games. It's one of those things that I grew up with and is very just nostalgic for me. I've played a lot of the titles in the series, and there's still some I haven't, but this is the game I played the most titles out of. And I truly will say, Legend of Zelda has a big impact on my life, and a lot of people don't. It's weird because I noticed that a lot of people, they're not a huge fan of Zelda, and maybe it's just because the people that do play Zelda, it had like some sort of huge impact on them as opposed to like, other games and other people's lives. There's people out there that certain things will have an impact on you, and you really, really like, and that'll be that game that sets well with you, and that's why for me, Legend of Zelda has always been that game that had a huge impact on me. Now, there are people out there that literally pretend they're fans of Ocarina of Time, and they don't really talk much about other Zelda games out there besides Ocarina of Time. I can sit there and ask you if you've played like Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, like, besides Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, of course. And everybody that mainly played Zelda played the mainline Zelda games. People have, I know a lot of people who played Ocarina of Time, and that seems to be that game that everybody lean towards when they say it's their favorite game. But for me, Legend of Zelda is, my favorite game is Twilight Princess, and that's because, that tells two stories. There are two princesses. It's just a really well put together game. Now, I'm not saying the story of Ocarina of Time isn't put together very well, but for me, the story of Twilight Princess is just so unique to others. And Twilight Princess is like, I would want to say, like, if we were to have a sequel to Ocarina of Time, well, besides, Majora's Mask, I would say Twilight Princess would be that sequel if you were to put it together and follow it exact. But, this is just my opinion, my thoughts. But yes, this is my top layer of my collection. This is specifically directed towards the Legend of Zelda series. And when I add more to this, there's going to be a rearrangement here. I don't think going down any further besides the video games themselves are Legend of Zelda related. And you'll see that when we get down to the next level. So, let's go back to, okay, so here's the next image. So, again, looking here, I grew up playing Nintendo, so when you look at everything, I have a lot of Nintendo stuff here. And you'll notice that this right here, I haven't used it much, but that's a Raspberry Pi, and I could put ROMs and emulators onto that. But I just don't feel the need to right now. I got too much in my gaming catalog that I needs to play, and then on top of it, there's also stuff that I still want to play. So it's like my gaming catalog is going to continue to grow. My gaming collection is going to continue to grow, and I won't be opening this up because I just want to keep it in there because then unless I get a bigger place, I won't be building this because I don't have enough space to build this puzzle. And when I do, I want to like make sure I put it into a picture frame and all that. So in the future, when I move into like some bigger place, I'll be putting that puzzle together. It's for me, that's more of like I have a bigger place. I wanted the puzzle, of course, But I want to wait till I'm actually in a place that I can put that together. And here, where I'm at now, is not the best place because it's too small, and and I don't have enough room. You know, yeah. So I think at some point when I get a bigger place, I'm going to end up putting that together, or when I move into a new place, of course. But as you can see here, my video game collection is pretty vast when it comes down to Nintendo titles. Like, let's see if we can really... Alright, so when you look at this here, you see all of my collection, and it just still stands as it is. This is just my physical collection. So this is not my digital collection. So my digital collection is off of this, 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 and this. Well, wait. No, not this. But these three titles right here have digital, okay? And, so most of these games, they all have... They're all physical, and they don't really... Like, I don't really need DLC to play them. Of course, the DLC is usually for the backstory. So, I've been stating throughout my channel here, and this is something you've paid attention to, I'm sure, that I think DLC should be built upon the idea of, like, bringing out a physical copy of DLC games, and, just stuff like, why are we having to pay, like, $30 for, like, stuff that we can't, we genuinely can't have. So, I gotta dust these shelves. Wow. Alright, sorry for the, that's kind of embarrassing, but hey, it is what it is. Alright. So now we go down a little bit further, and you can't really see it here unless we, like, zoom in. I'm sure you're wondering what this thing is over here. This is my other original Switch. Alright, so I don't have Joy-Cons for this thing. My box back here is for the Switch OLED, but I do not have Joy-Cons for this Nintendo Switch anymore. Because there were moments in my life that I just didn't, I really couldn't keep my video game collection. And that's why people were, like, weird about me now having this, because they're like, shouldn't he be, they're used to me doing things the way I used to do them. And, I've always wanted to build a collection, and that's the thing I was trying to get people to understand. But there are people who are, people in my genuine life that are against me building this collection, and they're all about having money. But for me, building a video game collection is about the nostalgia. It's about, my history. It's about who I am as a person. And, these titles right here, I absolutely love. This one up top is the Tomb Raider reboot. So I have the Xbox 360 controller up there. And you go down further, we'll go down to the next one. But you'll start to see what I mean. I have a history in video gaming, and this is just stuff I decided to outright get recently. And it's weird because people, there are people I know that get weird about me buying video games for my collection. And as a full-grown adult and paying my landlord his rent and paying my bills, I deserve to go out and treat myself to something like this, because I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a family to hang out with, and, I'll go in deeper as to why I wanted to start this collection, but it's a lot of nostalgia in places in my life, and, wanting to explore some of these games I never got to explore, and stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, nobody can really sit there and get mad at me for this, because what did you do in your childhood, stuff like that, because, people complain about their childhood all the time. Now, I complain about my childhood, but you'll notice when I complain about my childhood, it always had some sort of video game pulling me over in some sort of really bad moment. So that's why I go back to the video game. It's an area in my life that, for me, it's a place of peace and happiness. Most people don't understand that and won't want to understand that. And that's why I decided to make this video. This video is already a little bit personal, but I want people to understand, your gripe and your moan and groan against me playing games sometimes isn't for the best, and I do this because it's something I wanted to do. Without the YouTube channel, when my YouTube channel went down, I think these people thought I was going to go and just literally sell my stuff off. And they were dead wrong about it. They just didn't get that this is stuff I wanted to legitimately keep. That's why I still have this stuff, even if I don't have a YouTube channel, which the a-hole who decided to take my channel down was like, yeah, he's gonna take his stuff and stuff. Nope, you're dead wrong. Because you know what? I love my collection, and that is why I keep adding to this thing. You know, people who don't like this collection, you know, you got a serious problem in your life if you don't like somebody else's hobby because they chose that hobby. You know, it's not like I'm out there buying tons of cars or other stuff. Unfortunately, you'll notice that with people that aren't into this stuff, they'll actually give people a hard time, and I don't care. But this is what I do on my free time, and nobody can really get mad at me for doing this on my free time, and that's why like I find it weird when people do get mad about this kind of stuff. But hey, it is what it is. You know, people don't always make sense. So let's see if we can go to the next. Yeah, we can. So we're gonna go to the next slide, and this is the third shelf down. So we got like a couple of things to look at here. So this is my final layer. Man, I gotta dust this thing. I hate like looking at the bottom and you can see the web. So I apologize again for the dust. I gotta go and dust things. But you can see it right here. Now, some of these games, I said, I've acquired over the course of time, and I don't play them because they're not my style, but they're gonna sit in a collection. Because, you know what? It's better to have them, and at someday look at them and be like, well, you know, I have stuff in here. I don't know what's about. Maybe I should try it. And you know, Stitch. I like Stitch. That's why he's up there. But the rest of the rest of these games here, they're kind of just like they're kind of just there. I don't even know if I'm gonna touch these because one, I don't have an Xbox. Two, if I ever get an Xbox, I might consider trying these. Like I would consider trying Ghost Recon. I would consider trying 50 Cent Bulletproof. SpongeBob Bikini Bottom, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six 3, stuff like that. So Black Hawk Down, I would consider trying these. I don't think I'm going to be a huge fan of them, but it's still something I do want to consider trying. And this black box, I believe that's Rayman's Legends or something like that. Rayman's Reina or something like that. And then you got this stuff over here, which Plants vs. Zombies, I already tried that. I am not a huge fan of it on the 360. I don't know why they even decided to bring that out to the 360. You know, there's just stuff here that I'll eventually get around to playing and trying when I get an Xbox. Now, again, people giving me a hard time just for having this stuff. And, you know, this is stuff I got as a blessing. So, and then I got this. So, you know, this thing here, I had this cased up. I'm eventually, when I get a big shelf, this is going to go onto that shelf. Or when I get a bigger place, this is going to go onto that shelf. And, you know, that's something I'm aiming to do is just get more shelf room or just actually move out of here. And my main goal is to just move out of this place because this place is a place I started building my collection, but it hasn't been the best of anything for me. The people, you know, I could complain about this place a lot more and what people want from me, but I'm not going to. That's not the time and the place for this. So, again, this is something I decided to do and pick up on at one point. You know, I'm glad I have it. It's not, you know, I didn't expect to be keeping it or anything, but yeah, when you get into stuff like this is a hobby that, you know, I will admit, people will give you the hardest time, but still turn around and dress up in cosplay or do ridiculous stuff out, you know, for their own hobby. And I look at it that way. I'm like, well, I have to remember the person literally, you know, giving me a hard time for having this usually has some really stupid hobby to begin with in my eyes. So I have to remember that. But let's move on to the next one because I have like 4 consoles. And this is my whole complete collection here. So the camera is what I'm filming from, but like, let's just zoom in a little bit. So the Xbox 360 was something I told you I had, and I didn't have it before because the other one I had was complete trash. And if you're wondering where the Joy-Cons are, I still have them. They're sitting on the shelf back here with the rest of my stuff. I think they're in image number 1. And then we got my PC, which I game on. I made that myself. I've had that thing for a while, and that's why I'm saying I need a new computer at times. So, but yeah, these are 3 major consoles besides the Sega I have. Now, let's go back out, and let's go back to the first image. and you can see it right here. My Joy-Cons are in this first image. So right here are my Joy-Cons for that Nintendo Switch. And so far I'm pretty pleased with everything. Um you know, I have always like wanted to keep a video game collection, and that's something that, something that people don't understand is like wanting to keep a video game collection and wanting to grow a video game collection. The first time around, if I would have seen it, I really didn't. I really, I think it's the fact that I started seeing it, and it's like, well, that's cool. And I wanted to have a collection to be happy with, full of games that I can sit here in the next couple years and be like, well, I forgot that game came out. Let me grab that one and play that one. So that's what I'm going to get to eventually. Like, the Nintendo Switch was officially the place I started. Now, later on down the line, I'm going to have more consoles coming in. What I have right now is just a small amount. But I'm hoping that, I move into some place and end up rooming up with somebody at some point in the future to be able, that is a gamer and wants to build a collection also, or just helps me save money and helps me build my collection, because this thing means a lot to me. It's one of those things that, like, since I've done it, it's just brought a lot of happiness. Like, I used to, on my other channel, before it went down, I was making videos of my amiibos. I actually sat down, and it sucks because, like a couple days after, well, like the day after it happened, I was like, man, now I lost all my content from the previous channel. But then and I was like, well, you know what? I have retro timed, and this channel was mainly based on reviewing older games. But with the way things happened, it was just kind of totally uncalled for, and it was something that shouldn't have happened to me. But somebody out there must have not really liked it and just decided they wanted to get it terminated. That's how things work sometimes on YouTube. But I'm still collecting everything, and then, I didn't look at it as like a point where I'm like, well, you know what? I can't just sit down. I have to get up and do it again, even if I don't want to start from the beginning. So, it happens. People will destroy what you have, and then you have to rebuild it back up. Because we see in society a lot that things do happen to people, things do happen to great people who build stuff up. And those great things that get built up get brought down or destroyed by other people, and it's on you to get back up and just do it again. And it shows you have that willpower to continue on doing what you want to do, even if it is just collecting this stuff, building a channel, anything. So, okay. So, that's it for this. Alright. So, yeah. I've been doing this for a while, just because, like, it's not nostalgia purposes, and because, for me, I have a lot, I don't have, I have good childhood memories, but they are more directed with the video game aspect of things. And that is why I was continuing to collect and build this collection the way I did. There's games in this catalog that, in my Switch catalog and other games, like I said, I still haven't played. Like, all of this came to me as a blessing, and I'm really, really glad I have it right now. And it will not go to waste. It will not go to waste. It'll be, I just want to build it up to have a really nice collection, because I have not done anything in my life that enabled me to have, things to this level. And people think I'm crazy for this sometimes, and that's perfectly fine. That is completely and utterly fine. But for me, this is all about a place of, like, just nostalgia, and it puts a smile on my face just knowing I have this after all the stuff I've been through. I've been through some pretty rough stuff in my life, and for me, I'm just happy being alive and having this in my grasp, and it means a lot to me. There's a lot more I could have out there that would make me happy, but for me, this is something right now, and at this very point in time, I can think about, and just, I feel happy thinking about it. So, I thank God for everything I got here, and this is just a blessing from God. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's where I call this video. And again, if you did like this, hit that like button. And please subscribe to the channel. I'm looking for subscribers. And also, hit that notification bell to get more from me. Because this is going to continue to go on. This is going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. And with that said, I'll be seeing you next time. Keep gaming, gamers.